What's going on, Cheeseheads? You are watching the Packers Report. I am your host, Joey Peterson. We got what we've been waiting for all day long. The 2025 NFL schedule for your Green Bay Packers is finally out. And that's what we're breaking down on today's episode. We're going to go game by game, matchup by matchup. We got holidays. We got prime time. We got a lot to look forward to in 2025. Before we get into any of the games, though, I need you guys to answer this question for me, okay? It's going to be the pinned question, today's poll question, if you will. I need you to predict what the Packers' record is going to be in 2025. Okay, last year they were 11-6. Are they going to improve? Are they going to decline? What do you think the win total is? Let me know in the comments section. We start off with a bang with a divisional rival, Week 1 against the Detroit Lions, a team that went 15-2, won the NFC North, and then lost their first game against the Washington Commanders, but still beat you decent bit last year. Packers obviously 11-6 in 2024. This is a game where I feel like it's good to get the litmus test of where you are. It's the first home opener since 2018 for Green Bay. They're going to have Detroit in their building without their offensive coordinator from the year prior. Everybody's going to be fully healthy. That one's going to be incredibly exciting. I expect some fireworks. That one's going to be either at 4 o'clock or 4:25 Eastern on Week 1. Let's go to Week 2. Start off with two really, really good opponents, two playoff teams from the year before. This one's against the Washington Commanders in Lambeau Field on Thursday Night Football. So Week 2 is a really short week for Green Bay. 4 days later, I should say, they play Washington. I'm expecting Washington, if we're being 100% candid, to take a little bit of a step back in 2025. I think when you look at last year, they're like 85% on fourth downs. Jane Daniels had like 8 game-winning drives. They won like 9 or 10 one-score ball games. Great statistics. I just think they're outliers, okay? I would not be surprised one bit if they regress in 2025. Week 3, you play in Cleveland, go to the dog pound. Who knows what Cleveland's going to be this year? Who knows who's going to be starting quarterback at Week 3? It could be Joe Flacco. It could be Dillon Gabriel. It could be Shador Sanders. It could be anybody. Kenny Pickett? Like, we don't know. We'll know, obviously, hopefully the week before. Wouldn't be surprised if it was a toss-up. Regardless, that's one you got to get. Another primetime game. Very early on, Week 4, you go to AT&T Stadium, a place where you have won more playoff games than the team that calls that home. You've won 3. They've won 3. I guess you've won the same amount. Regardless, you're pretty dominant at AT&T. You're pretty dominant against Dallas. So that's going to be a really, really fun one. Carrie Underwood, of course, leading us into that one. Week 5 is a bye, which, in my opinion, I'm not going to talk too much about it. It's a little early for a bye. I would rather it be a little bit later in the season, probably around Week 10, Week 11, Week 12. Week 5 is a tad early for me. You got to play 12 straight games after that. Don't love that, but hey, these are the cards you're dealt. Week 6, you play against Cincinnati. They come to Lambeau Field. In Week 7, you go on the road to play the Arizona Cardinals. That's a team where going into the season, I don't really think anybody can kind of get quite a grip on them. It's kind of a toss-up of what they're going to turn into, how they're going to be. It's all going to be very dependent, obviously, on how Kyler Murray is playing. That's going to be a really fun one in Phoenix on Week 7. Week 8, you have another road trip. This one is Sunday Night Football. Again, your second Sunday night game, third primetime game by Week 8 of the season. So in your first 7 ball games, 3 of them are under the big bright lights, which is super exciting. You go to Acrisure Stadium, Heinz Field. You play Pittsburgh, who, as of right now, still believes they're getting Aaron Rodgers. I'm not too sure that he's not just going to retire. I mean, we all know the Aaron Rodgers saga better than anybody else. But still, if they get him, I still am not a massive believer in Pittsburgh. I think they got a lot of shortcomings to overcome. Let's just put it nicely. Make sure you guys are subscribed if you haven't already. We give you daily Packers coverage, anything from news, rumors, analysis. We go weekly watch parties during the season, okay? We were not live at all last year. This is a brand new channel. We will be live for every single one of these games that we can. And the best part is we involve you guys, the fans, okay? This is a two-way conversation. We're a family here at the Packers Report. It's all 100% free. So if those aren't good reasons enough to hit that sub button, I don't know what is. Join us today. You get your first, or I guess second, because you play Cleveland, kind of cupcake of the season, even though the Panthers looked a little bit better last year at the end of it, but you play Carolina in Lambeau Field, Bryce Young, Tedero McMillan, Jimmy Horn Jr. They're going to be a little bit more interesting, but I still think they're going to be really bad defensively. Another primetime game. This one against the Eagles, Monday Night Football. You're trying to get the lick back from last year, not only losing them in playoffs, but losing to them in Mexico, Week 1 opening night. Jalen Hurts has had Green Bay's number, and hopefully this time, it being in Lambeau, things will turn on its head. Week 11, you play in New York against the Giants. That could be a part of the season where we're starting to see some Jackson Dart, possibly. Russell Wilson's going to be their starter going into 2025. I have no doubts about that. But I feel like that's the midway part of the season where they're probably going to have 4, maybe 5 wins. Brian Dable might be feeling a little more comfortable with the rookie quarterback. We'll see if he'll be able to take the reins at that point. You play the Vikings for the first time in Week 12. This time in the beginning, it is at Lambeau Field. That's a neck for your boy. J.J. McCarthy. He's going to be the big question mark. He's going to be what makes this Vikings team go. They're going to have a good defense, but if you don't have the quarterback play, you're not going to go far, okay, especially in this division. So that's a big question mark, but they got good hopes by him. I mean, enough to let Sam Darnold walk out the door. Week 13, you play on Thanksgiving. You are the noon game against the Detroit Lions. Gobble, gobble, gobble. That one's going to be a blast. Again, we'll be live for that one. Second Thanksgiving game day. Second one against the Lions as well. That one's going to be a good one. Week 14, you take on the Chicago Bears. The Bears in Lambeau Field. Chicago's going to be an interesting case study in 2025. Obviously, Ben Johnson's coming in. You got year 2 of Caleb Williams. You added Colston Loveland. They're expected to take a big jump. You know, they were off-season champs, but they're always off-season champs. They're always expected to take a big jump, and at the end of the day, they're still the same old Bears. Week 15, you play at Denver, so you go to Mile High. That's kind of where the December ball starts. It's going to be a little bit chilly in Denver, but of course that's something that we're all used to in Green Bay. Bo Nix and Sean Payton, they've got some big shoes to fill. They set themselves up really, really well for the future, and they're going to be able to see if they can kind of live up to that standard that they set for themselves in year 1 for both of them together. Then you play the Bears again. This one is on Saturday in Soldier Field, so you play the Bears twice in the span of 3 weeks, back-to-back road games for the Green Bay Packers. And then week 17, you play in Lambeau Field against the Baltimore Ravens. They make the trip from Baltimore to Green Bay. That one is going to be an absolute blast. I'm so excited to see that one. Lamar Jackson in Lambeau against Jordan Love. It's going to be the end of the year. I feel like there's a good chance both teams are playing for their divisions at that point, so it's going to be a really high-stakes ball game. I'm pumped to see that one. Then you round the season out, week 18, in Minnesota at US Bank Stadium against J.J. McCarthy, Kevin O'Connell, Brian Flores in the Minnesota Vikings. I need you guys to let me know, which game are you most excited for? I got a couple. I'm really excited for Thanksgiving against Detroit. I'm really excited for that Baltimore game in week 17. I'm also really excited to play Chicago with the new-look Bears, if you will. But you guys let me know your answer in the comments section. As always, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. I'll be giving my full season predictions tomorrow, so stick by the channel. We'll go game by game, pick by pick, and we're curious what you guys think about 2025. We'll see you next time.